Leon Kennedy is back in Resident Evil 9, and we draw him today in 4 different styles. And the styles that we have for you today are zombie, realistic, cartoon, and polygon. Let's start off with the cartoon effect. I originally wanted to do something a little bit different with the cartoon effect, perhaps through The Simpsons, or if you haven't seen Carbot Animations, they did an amazingly hilarious series of Resident Evil 9, and I will link it in the description because if you're a fan, it's flippin' hilarious. But I decided to just keep it simple. I didn't want to go too aggressive with the colors because he is a very pale character. Not just because of his complexion, but just because of basically all that he's been through throughout the series. So I didn't want to add too many bright colors. So the highlights are going to be very beige, and the darks aren't going to be as dark as what they should be. But I do want to make sure that they are thick and well represented. You may notice that I use more than 3 colors in the cell shading that I'm doing here, and that's for a very good reason. It's a very stark image, it's very well represented. I didn't want to go with only 2 tones because I feel like it would just make it a little silly, but by doing so, I think I may have actually made him look a little bit too, well, Sigma, if you will. And when we get to the polygon, it'll be pretty much evident. There is just one last element that I have to add. I have to give him the gray beard. I mean, he is 51 years old, and like I said before, he's getting old. I mean, I was with him when I was 15 years old back in 1998, and chat, it's just weird to see him getting old, but what do you think of the cartoon effect? Because now, we are going to head on over to the polygon side. And as I said, I was 15 years old when the original RE2 came out and we were introduced to Leon Kennedy, and polygons were it. They made these games look so incredible. We were scared to death when this scene came out. I mean, look at it. It doesn't look like anything special, but to a 15-year-old kid back in 1998, it was everything. But what are polygons exactly? Well, before the day and age of highly rendered games, we had lots of blocky figures, and polygons were just that. They were the representation of a 3-dimensional space, but without all the angles that we had. So we had to adjust and make them into angular shapes. It's kind of how we break things down in a 3-dimensional sense when we are working in an art space. But now we're going to have to represent that in a 3-dimensional space on a 2-dimensional space. Yeah, are you with me just yet? Yes, that's confusing, I get it, but that's just how it works. You're representing a 3-dimensional object with flat planes, hence polygons. So how do we go about achieving this effect? Well, basically, we're trying to break down the form into where the angles are. So on the right side of the cheek, that's where the light would hit, and then on the sides of it, you're going to come to all these little points and sharp edges. But, as I said before, when I did this, I didn't realize it would look very Sigma. Now that we've finished polygons, it's time to head on over into the world of the real. And this is where I have to be a little bit honest with the chat, and that is, well, basically, I didn't like this at all. I was just really frustrated with the way the hair came out. I was really frustrated with a lot of everything that was just happening throughout this design, and it had nothing to do with application. I think it was more just the yellow was too yellow, and then I was just trying to work in all of these different color schemes, and it didn't fit. And what I mean by color schemes is when we do realism, one thing that we want to stay away from is using a lot of peaches and browns to represent skin color. Yes, they are the foundation of most Caucasian skin color, but we want to move away from that to achieve realism. And even the darker our skin gets, there's going to be reds and yellows and blues underneath those skin tones to make it darker, right? So with Caucasian skin, you're going to see more yellows and oranges and greens in some areas. And with the darker skin tones, you're going to see a lot more blues as it gets darker and cooler tones. That's how you get that really dark shading. So when you see the eye socket, because Leon is a lot more aged, the age lines start to come out I'm going to add more blues in there. I don't actually use black here at all. I use a midnight blue. And when you add that midnight blue and that brown, it gives that super rich, dark color. That's something that I really want to really stress for you as young artists and even intermediate artists. Veer away from black and white when you're doing these portraits. If you're doing grayscale, that's fine. But as you develop as an artist, you really want to add these and have fun playing around with these colors. You know, throw a dark green in there. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work for you. But really understand what values and what tones are in skin color to bring out that high level resolution of portrait. And for me, it fell flat. And I tried to do a lot of things. Now, maybe I'll think, wow, it's great. But for me and for my standards, what I know I can do, sometimes you just rush a project. You're trying to get things done. And before you know it, you're like, wow, it's not what I expected. And that's just kind of how I felt. The whole thing just felt like an okay. Like, hey, I'm doing something for college and it got me a B. You know, it's you get you through to the next day kind of thing. And that's just not what I come to want. It felt very plastic because of it. It didn't feel like it had life. And maybe that's just because I haven't drawn a portrait in a really long time. Been drawing a lot of FNAF characters, been drawing a lot of imaginary characters. So when you have to sit there and draw things like pores and textures of skin tones, sometimes it can throw you off what you're actually applying on the page and what your eye is actually seeing. Now, a good tip that I do want to give for everyone is if you're having problems working alcohol markers and color pencils, I will recommend using a very light color, whatever color it is that you happen to be using. In this case, I'm going to be using a very light skin tone over the top of the color pencils and blending out. The color alcohol that is in the pen will eat away at the wax and the oil in the color pencil and then make it so you have a nice smooth blendable layer to then reapply another layer of color pencil without damaging the paper too much as long as you let it dry between. Now here's where the real struggle comes. I add the paint pen down and then I go over with color pencil because I'm trying to add in a lot of Leon's white hairs. Like I said before, he's 51. Years have gone by. Age and stress have just basically pushed him to now his physical breaking point to where he's graying out. And so you have to represent that without just making it look like he's got ghost white hair. That's where the issue came in. I still think he now looks like his younger self. Now that we've made him real, let's make him a zombie. Now for this section, I actually love the way it came out, and that's because we can play with a lot of grays. Because we are transforming him into a zombie, we want to accentuate all of the wrinkles and the crack lines that he has, but we want to primarily work in tons of grays. We're going to be adding very minimal skin tone, but when we do, we're going to layer over with some greens and some blues, as you'll see later on. So what you're going to see now is basically just the mapping out process, really carving in those darks to accentuate the cracks, all the hairlines, everything. And when we get to the hair, we're just going to make it super wacky and disheveled because, well, the smooth hair of Swayze that he once has is no longer. Now that he's a zombie, it's going to be all over the place. I know that this might seem like a jumbled mess now, but it's the moment in any art piece where you just have to trust the process. It might look incomplete now, but when we work over it and we continue to add more and more textures and color, then the piece will come together. As you can see, the green, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to start implementing that here, and that's when we're going to get that sickly, putrid zombie effect. We're not really going for gore necessarily. Yeah, if he took on damage, we would see gore, but I want to add that undead quality, and to do that, we have to work and focus on color. This little trip down memory lane is nearly complete, so if you're still with me, then please do me a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, but it also lets YouTube know that you really like the content, so if you're with me here, let me know which style is your favorite? Drop it in the comments, let me know, and as always, I shall see you all in the next video.